today, as I mentioned, so we'll be seeing the application which will have a bottom navigation view with the icons as mentioned here, home, profile and settings. And when we click on the home button, it should change the change to home fragment, and then setting fragment, and profile also to profile fragment. So let us see how I have created this one. So with the coding and with the help of 3 fragments and icons, all these procedures step by step from the beginning. For this, let me start by creating a new application. So this is a new application I have created. From here, we will go step by step with all the steps as I mentioned to you before. So here we will be following the steps here. The first one, we will create a download the icons. Before downloading the icons, we will make the navigation activity main.xml file. We will make it ready by inserting the frame layout as well as bottom navigation view. So this one is first we will make it as a design. Okay, so first we will make the design ready. So in the activity main.xml, we will go to the split, and here I'm naming it as a my application 2 only, so you can name this file whatever you want. Let us first delete this one, the hello world. After this, we want first thing as a bottom navigation view as well as a frame layout. Let us look for here a bottom navigation. When you start typing bottom, you can see bottom navigation view. So you can drag down here, or even you can drag it to your design view. So drag it to the constraint layout. All right, so then also we need a frame layout here. So frame layout also should be on the same level in the constraint layout. They both should be in the same level as I shown you before. All right, so here we need to change the IDs for both of them, frame layout and navigation view. Also, we need to do the constraint. Okay, so frame layout, I'll move to the attributes and write the ID here. Let us name it as a same frame layout only. I will write with the small letters frame layout, and I'll make the constraints here right, left, and the bottom. Since it is frame layout, let us make it in the all 4 sides. Okay, so and the width, let it be match parent, and the height can be wrap content. So this may be vary from different machine to machine, different computer to computer. So this much we can do it now. So if any problem comes when we see the output, so later we can modify whatever is the requirement according to the requirement. So this is what required for the frame layout. Let's move to the bottom navigation view. First, let us make the ID here. So here it is a bottom underscore navigation view, and then I'll also make this one as a width match parent as well as height is the wrap content. Then constraints right, left, let it be all 0, and the top we will not make anything, we'll keep it empty. Okay, right, this let it be the match parent. All right, so this is enough. Okay, so this is the design which we have done. We have created ID as well as we have made the constraint here. All the 4 sides constraint we have created. And you can see this is the XML file what we have achieved. Okay, so let it be as it is now at this time. So if any problem comes when we run the program, that time we can modify. Otherwise, this should be okay. All right, so this is the first step what we need to do. The next second one is let us take some icons. Okay, so depends on the menu items what we are going to use if you are using a home, profile settings, or alarm, contact, or something like that. So depends on the situation, depends on the menu items what we are going to use. You have to download the icons, you have to get the icons here. Okay, let us see this. What icons we need? Icons we need it inside the drawables. From the drawable, right click on it. From the drawable, right click new vector asset. Okay, so to get the icons we need to go for the vector assets. This is from the drawables here. Right click new a vector asset and clip art. Click on this clip art. So from here, let me take it as a home. The first one, I'll take the home icon. Next, finish. Okay, so you can see this home underscore 24.xml file here. So after this, let me take the another one, the vector asset. Click here on the clip art button, and here look, let us look for the contact. Okay, we'll mix contact, or you can even say the phone. Okay, so you can take the phone also. Let us click this phone and next, and then finish. The last one, let us continue with the alarm which we have done in the last class. Let us say alarm. Next, finish. So we have alarm, home, and phone. So three options are here. Three menu items are here. This is the second part. What we need to get the icons here. Right. So this is the icons. We have already got it. After getting the icons, we need to do the main task here, that is creating a menu. Okay, so how do we create the menu here? How do we create the menu? So for creating a menu, so we need to go for creating a new folder here in the resource area. So now, as of now, you cannot see any menu folder here. So we need to first create the menu folder. So after creating a menu folder, we will make the menu file and then we will add the menu items there. All right, for that, right click on the resource, new, then we need Android resource directory. Android resource directory. So click on this. Now in the Android resource directories, we have many files here, many folders here. Okay, so as of now, we need is a menu. Just go for resource types, choose this menu, and you will have a menu here automatically created. Just click on OK so that you can see this menu folder has been created here. All right, so we got a new folder here. That's a menu folder. Now here inside any app which we are creating, so there can be more than one menus. Okay, so here we are using a bottom navigation menu like this. There may be drawable menu or different types of menus are possible to be available or used. So in that case, we need to create a different files for the particular menu. Okay, so now here we are only going to create one menu, so that we will only create a one file in this situation at this time. Okay, so for that, right click on it, new, then we will say menu resource file. Menu resource file. Inside this menu resource file only we will add the items. Okay, so let us name this as a this menu resource file as a bottom navigation menu. Everything should be small letter with underscore you can use. No space allowed. Bottom navigation menu. Click OK. Now you can see there is a one new file created, that is a .xml file, bottom navigation menu.xml. Right. Now this is the time for us to create the menu items. We will add the menu items here. So that is here, once you create this bottom navigation, here also you can see bottom navigation menu. Now in this we will add the menu items from this. Drag and drop the menu items in the same level. 3 menu items we will take. Okay, so 3 menu items we have collected. So here you can see this is the warning. So this warning is because we need to add the ID and other things here. All right, so there are two options to add the information to the menu, one with the coding, another one with the design part. You can choose whichever we want. Now the first one, we will say this as a home. We can need to change the three things here. Okay, so what are the three things we need to change? One is the title. We need to change the title, we need to change the ID, and we need to change the icon of this is for the menu items. Okay, for the menu items, we need to change all three of them. For this, what we will do is for first one, I have changed the title as a home, right? And then ID, I'll change as a small home. Okay, so for icon, I'll click on this icon and I will see here. So the home is available. I'll click on this home icon and then click OK. My first home menu item is ready. Okay, let us see for the second one how we can do it by using the code. So I'll click on the split. So in the split, we can see the code as well as design, both of them. Okay, so here the first one you can see the home is looking like this. For the second one, we will make it as a second one. We have the phone. Okay, so the title is phone. You can see here, note that the phone has come here already. Then I need a ID. ID is with the @ plus ID slash, and here we will write a small phone. Right, so this is the second one we have got ID, and then third one we need an icon. And when we write this, you can look for the phone. There is a phone icon already selected. Okay, so this is also another procedure. By writing the code also you can do it, or by going to the design also you can do this. You can choose according to your wish. Third one is the alarm. For this I'll choose ID. ID is alarm. Okay, so then last one is icon. I will add the icon as an alarm. Right, so this is the menu items. 3 menu items we have used. That's the home, phone. Okay, home, phone, and alarm. So these 3 things we have used here, and you can see that home, phone, alarm is here. Right, so by this time we have completed creating a menu items. Menu items are already ready, so it is appearing in the corner. Now the next task is, so we want to use this menu in the bottom navigation area. So that is in the bottom side. Now we need to connect this menu with the bottom navigation view which we have created in the earlier. That is in the main activity main.xml file. Okay, so that we need to connect it. So how do we connect that? So at this time we will open activity underscore main.xml. And in the XML file, we have this Google com.google Android material. This bottom navigation is here. Okay, in the bottom navigation, we will mention this menu. Start typing menu. Don't type everything by your own. So just wait, just type menu. And inside the menu, you can note that this file name bottom underscore navigation dot menu file name is appearing here by default. Okay, click this. By this time we are able to connect it. Now you can already see the output which will have the bottom navigation with all the icons. Okay, now you cannot see it in the design. When you run, you can see definitely the output. Okay, I will change this to pixel 4 and then let me run this one. Okay, fine. So the down icons are not appearing. We will modify some of the constraints here. Frame layout, we will try to make it as a width and height 00 dp and then check. Okay, so then let us check this one. All right, so now we are having the icons here. As I mentioned to you before, for some of you, it may work with the match parent and wrap content or match parent, but if it doesn't work, then we need to modify some of the things. Right here, you can see home, phone, and alarm. So three things are appearing here already. Right, so this is the menu items, what we have created just now. After this, so what we are going to do is the next one is adding some fragments. As I shown you first for the output, when I click on the home button, so I'm want to see here some different colored screen with the home fragment and then phone fragment as well as alarm fragment. Here as of now, we will just see the empty fragments only. We don't need to put any content inside the fragment. All right. So now let us move to the adding of fragments here. This is the number 4. After finishing the menu, so we will add the fragments. Right, since we have a 3 buttons here, 3 navigation views, so we will need to add 3 different fragments. I'll just minimize this emulator and let us add the fragments here. Okay, so adding a fragment, you can go to this app, right click on this app, new fragment, and then blank fragment. All right, so we need to add the 3 different fragments for this. The first one, let me name it as a home fragment, then finish. You can already see here the fragment, home fragment is created in this place along with the main activity. So add the another one similar to this, app new fragment and blank fragment. This one, let me name it as a phone fragment. I'm creating a different one. So like a settings we have done, contacts we have done, phone we are doing, and alarm we are doing. Why? Because to get there is a possibility to create a different fragment names are different, the icons. Okay, the menu bottom navigation menus. That's why I'm using different options. Phone fragment. This is the second one. Okay, so let us make the last one here. App, right click, fragment and the blank fragment. So the last one is alarm fragment, then click finish. All right, so now already we have a 3 options here, 3 fragments created, alarm, home, and the phone fragment. Okay, so 3 fragments are already created. We don't need to do any Java coding for this one since we are not going to put anything inside the Java area. Now for these 3 things, we need to arrange the XML file so that when we click on the icon, we need something to be displayed on the screen. Okay, so let us create some information. Let us put some information on the .xml file. This is the fragment.home XML fragment underscore phone xm.xml, fragment underscore alarm.xml. So let us go to the home first, and in this let us make this as a split. In the place split, you can see already we have the text. We need to change all the things here. We need to add the what all things we will do here. Here we will add the text. We will also add the size. Okay, so text size, and we will add the gravity, layout gravity. Okay, so these are the things we will be adding, and also if you want a background color, we can add the background color here according to the requirement of a question. Here background color, we can choose any of the background color here, teal 200 or teal 500, or if you want some different background colors, you can go to the Google and look for the Android Studio color coding. So you can add the color coding here. So according to that, your color will be changed. All right. So now here I will add this one has a home fragment. This is the first one. Home fragment, and text size I want to keep it as a 35 dp so that it will be big size. Layout gravity as a center. Okay, so for this we want to add both of them here. For the text view, we will make it as a wrap content. Okay, so here, so that it will appear it in the proper place. All right, so when we make it as a wrap content is basically the content independent. It's not related to the parent now. That is a wrap content. If you want to relate to the parent, so parent in a sense background, there is a parent. Parent is which one now? So we have a constraint layout as a parent. So it will sit on the constraint layout or frame layout, whatever layouts it has. If you want to make it separately, you have to go for the wrap contents. Right. So this is the home fragment what I have here. Now I'll show one more thing. So then later I'll show how to copy paste the information. Same thing. Now let us go to the next fragment, that is the phone fragment here. Again, let us click on the split. In the split, we will first add the background color. Background color anywhere you can put it. So here background, I'll make it as a teal 700. Okay, so then come back here, width wrap content, and height also wrap content. Okay, let me put the content here. So that is the phone fragment. In the text, I want to add fragment. Right, so then we will add the size of the text. Let us put as 35 dp to make it same as in the home. So then we will add the gravity here, gravity to arrange it in the center place. That's the layout gravity. This is center. So now we can see the phone fragment is in the center place. Now this is not required to write every time. So what you can do is take this text view completely, full text view, take this one, right click copy or control C copy. Right, so when you go to the next one, fragment underscore alarm, to the split again, delete this text view which is already there. Delete it and paste what we have copied from the previous one. The paste it. Now you can see phone fragment is shown here. Change this phone fragment to alarm fragment. Okay, what I have done, the text view which was here already deleted and added the one fresh text view which I have copied from the previous. So now let us put the background color for this also. Background as purple 200. Okay, now our three fragments are ready. Our three fragments are ready. We can see that fragment home, fragment phone, Okay, fragment alarm. So 3 fragments are ready. So now the next step is we want to connect the bottom navigation. When we click, these fragment pages should open. So that means there should be some connectivity between the activity main.java and then these all the fragments. Okay, for this, as I mentioned to you, so we need to write the Java code. In the Java code, mainly we will use the switch concept to switch between the one fragment to another fragment. That's what we need to use. Okay, for switch, we will be using it. All right, so we have done with the fragment part. The last part which we will be creating is the Java coding. All right. In the Java coding area, so we also need to do one small part, so that I will show you here. All comes under the coding area. Now, after all fragments are created, before going to the coding, before going to the any coding, so what we need to do is first we will go to the Gradle. Here, build.gradle, click on it. Before the compile options, here before compile options, you can add one line, so that is a build features. Here it should be out of this bracket. We will write here build features, capital F. If the option doesn't come automatically, you need to write everything. Okay, sometimes it will not show everything. This is the build. Comes automatically, no problem, you can even choose it. Build features with the flower bracket, and then here it is a view binding. View binding option is appearing here. By default, view binding is a false, so we just need to make it as a view binding true. That's all the task here. Where we are inserting this, you can write anywhere, but if you write before the compile options, this binding feature, a build feature, it will be better. Okay, once you do this, you can note that the sync now option has come up. This will happen whenever we modify something in the Gradle. Okay, so by default, these are the Gradle options. Okay, so if we modify any of the Gradle options, so automatically we need to sync it to our project. If you don't sync, it will be still thinking that the whatever was there in the old options, so that we will be using it for our project. So it will not work whatever changes we have made. So once you write or once you make any changes inside the build Gradle, you need to sync it. Right? You just click on this sync. Once it is synced, you can see this different options coming up, or some error comes. If some error comes, you click on try again, but still error continues, then check the spellings what you have written here. And bracket, these should be the flower bracket only. Okay, if it is normal bracket, just remove that and make it as a flower bracket. Right? So now after syncing, you can see these normal lines now. So then that's it. The syncing part is done. Now we will go to the Java coding here. Java, that is in the activity main.java or main activity.java. We will be here now to write the Java coding. Okay, so once we are here, the first thing is we need to create an object of the activity main binding as a binding. So that we will do it in the main activity area. So here activity main binding. If suppose if you are not able to see this activity main binding automatically, if this activity main binding option is not showing here, that means you have not written correctly build Gradle option. Okay, if build Gradle is correct, you have already synced, then this option should come here. If this is not coming, if you write by yourself, then your program code will be having some errors. Okay, don't write by yourself, you just wait until this appears here, then choose, and then this is equals to a binding. Okay, so this is an object we are creating, activity main binding equals to of binding. After this, The next line, what we will do is we will create the binding. We will add the binding here in this line. Okay, so if you're already seeing this line, so we need to remove this and we will make it as a binding.getRoot, the different line. I'll tell you. After this saved instances, you can see this. We will add this binding equals to activity main binding dot inflate. Inflate is what? When we want to open up something, we will use this type of a inflate function. Okay, so here activity main binding dot inflate, and inside this get layout inflator. This is the get layout inflator. You can see the first option, get layout inflator, then put semicolon. Right, so the next one is set content view is already here, so we will remove this one and we will add this binding dot get root. So these two lines we'll be adding here. So after this we'll see, I'll show you replace fragment code at the end. So why we use the replace fragment code here, we will see at the end. Now this what we do is here commonly we write find view by ID. Okay, same way. So whatever we do using a find view by ID, but here for the bottom navigation we need to do this binding parts. This is same as a find view by ID. Now after this we need to create a function here. Okay, so the function we will create at the end before the bracket close. So we need to create a function here. So the function name we will make it as a replace fragment, because now whenever we call the switch cases, you already know how to use the switch with the cases. Switch case 1, switch case 2, we will be using it. Whenever the switch is called, case is activated, we will use the fragments, different fragments to be activated. For this we need to use the fragment manager with the help of the fragment transaction. Okay, for this let us create one private function here, that is private void. We will call this as a replace function, a replace fragment. This we have to type, okay, because this we are creating our own name. You can change this name if you want. So if you don't change, you may get confused with the code. So better keep this as the replace fragment. Okay, so here fragment, we are working on the fragment of a fragment. We'll use this one and then the bracket open. So inside this bracket, we will write the function code. Here the first thing is a fragment manager. We will create an object here, fragment manager object. That's with the fragment manager. A fragment manager equals to, now it is a get support of a fragment manager. This is get support of fragment manager. You can see this code automatically. This is the first line. We are creating an object for the fragment manager. After this, we need to create an object for the fragment transaction. So that is fragmented transaction. Fragment transaction. Look for the transaction here. Don't type by yourself. Just look for it and then press tab or mouse click. Okay, when we type, we may do some mistakes. Now you can see automatically the fragment transaction has come up. This is equals to now fragment manager dot begin transaction. So now we will say the fragment manager to continue the transaction. This is fragment manager dot begin transaction semicolon. This is the second line, and the third line we want to replace what? So one fragment to another fragment we want to replace. That we will be writing here a fragment transaction dot replace. Replace is a function. From one layout to another layout or one fragment to another fragment we want to change. That is r.id, the first one, dot frame layout. Initially we have this frame layout. This frame layout is the name of the frame layout which we have created. Okay, which we have created the ID of the frame layout initially in the design. What we have done, that layout name we have to write here, frame layout, comma, we have to change this to a fragment. We want to change this to the fragment. Frame layout, whatever is there in the frame layout, that should be changed to the a fragment, the new fragment which we add here. The last line we will say fragment transaction dot commit. Commit in the sense start. Okay, these 4 lines code we need to put it inside the function. So this function we will call whenever the switch case get activated. All right. So now let's come back again to the main code. In the main code, we will add here binding for the switch. We will be adding here binding dot bottom navigation view. See this bottom navigation view. So initially the same frame layout what we have created here, frame layout and bottom navigation view, both we have created in the beginning. So that name we have to use here, bottom navigation view. All other places we have used as a bottom navigation menu, but this ID is the bottom navigation view ID which we have created in the first place in the design. This is bottom navigation view dot set on item selected listener. This is the first one. Okay, so inside this on item selected listener, in the sense whichever item is selected, that should be listened. Inside that we will add this item. Okay, item with the arrow mark, automatically it will come, and then use this brackets. Inside the bracket we will write the switch code. Press enter here. We will write the switch code here. Right, this switch is the same as which we have learned before for the Java. Switch, what we want to switch here, switch item dot get item ID. We need to get the item ID. So for that particular item ID, we will be creating the switch. Okay, so then create one bracket here. So then we will add cases. This is a switch call, and then we will add the case here. The first one is case r.id. The first ID we will call it r.id dot home. Okay, so what it has to do when the home is called, we need to call this as a replace fragment. This is a function name. This is the same function name which we have created here, replace fragment. What it should replace this to new home fragment. Okay, so in this first case, when the home button is clicked, it should change to the replace fragment to the new home fragment. So this is a new object we are creating for the home fragment. So here when the home is clicked, it should go to the home fragment. No need to create the IDs for the home fragments. Okay, it just need to be added with the class. So after this home fragment, so this home fragment we will call here home fragment we will call here for the first one. Okay, then we will put a break here as it is the case, right? So then let us go for the second case here, case 2. So that is r.id. Just repeat this all the procedure dot. The second one we have used as the phone. Inside this same replace fragment equals to new phone fragment. Okay, so this is a phone fragment. This is the same name what we have here, home, phone and alarm. right? Then use the break. Last one is case r.id dot alarm. This is the third one. When this is selected, we need to make it as a replace fragment to new alarm fragment, and then we will use a break. Okay, so then at the last we will add one return equals to true. This is just like a default case. Return equals to true. Right, so this is our code. So what we have added here, this is the case, okay, switch case, and we have called this one here, and then this is our function. This function is called whenever the case is selected. Okay, so now, so there is one more line we need to add, because once the application is open, we want to show something on the screen. First, when application is open, before clicking any button in the bottom navigation, we need something to show on the screen. So for that, what we will do is a replace fragment. First time when it is open, we will want to show the home fragment. You can create anything here. If you want to show, instead of home, if you want to show the phone fragment or alarm fragment, you can create that also. Okay, whichever fragment you want to create, show in the beginning, so that you can write here, this is the line to show the fragment in the first time. Before clicking any button, what fragment you want to show, that we will be writing here. Right, so that's it. This is the code, the Java code which we wanted to add. So the same code is there in the e-learning. I have already uploaded. You can utilize this code. Okay, you can use the code for copy paste, or you just need to change the IDs wherever the IDs are changed. I mentioned to you already, this ID is the same as the XML file ID. I'll show you. This one is activity main.xml. Here you can see that frame layout ID and bottom navigation view ID. So these two are the IDs in the main activity we are using. This is a frame layout ID and this is the bottom navigation view ID. These two IDs we are using. Now we are done. Let us see. Let us run and check whether it works or not. If not, we will do whatever the modification required. So here this is a, I'll choose the Pixel 4 and then run. Okay, so since I have mentioned it here, home fragment, that's why we are seeing the home fragment on the first place. When I click the phone, you can see phone fragment. When I click the alarm fragment is appearing. As I told you, so here is the, instead of home fragment, in the first place, you want to show something different. Let us say alarm fragment. Okay, you can write here. And then when I rerun, you can see alarm fragment. Before clicking any button, this alarm is selected because I have written this alarm here. Correct? So this is just the appearance. If you don't write anything also, nothing will happen. Just a blank screen will be appearing here. Just white screen will be appearing. When you click some buttons, automatically it will start changing. This line is optional line. All right, so we achieved whatever we expected. Okay. Hope everything fine. So if you still have any doubt, you can write to me.